one day I just woke up and felt I had a slight sort of shadow on my left eyelid, really. The best way I can describe it is if you've got that sensation of having an eyelash that's loose, but it hasn't actually come out yet. So I kept tugging at my eyelashes thinking that I was going to get rid of this shadow, but it wouldn't go. And I was running around with my kids at the time. They were both preschool, didn't think too much of it. Carried on with my day, but as the day went on, I noticed that the shadow had become more of a kind of a black spot, really. And when I focused on anything centrally in the center part of my vision, it was all black. So if I looked at a photograph, for example, of someone's face, the middle of the face was completely black, and I could only see the periphery. So that was quite scary. And as the day wore on, that black spot got bigger and bigger and bigger. I went to bed that night. I didn't even tell my husband about it at the time, to be honest. I didn't know what it was going on. Next morning, I woke up and there was definite eye pain as well. So when I looked to the left, I looked to the right, there was a real pain on moving my eyes. So, and the black spot hadn't got any less. It probably got a bit worse actually, but I thought I had to do something about it. So I went to see the optician. I did a few tests. She was clearly quite worried. I don't think she'd ever really assessed anybody with that before, and she sent me straight to the eye hospital. They did more tests, and then basically didn't really give me any sort of conclusions as to what was wrong, but just gave me an appointment to come back in a couple of days. I had to have eye drops put in to dilate my pupils, and then I had lots of really horrible bright lights and flashing things shone on my eyes where they were looking to see what was going on. Again, didn't give me any conclusive results of what was going on, but sent me away, and I came back a few days later, and it pretty much resolved. The other thing I'd also had as well was a colour blindness. Yes, I didn't realise this, but I'd lost the vision, the ability to see colour in that left eye as well. I didn't know that until they gave me a colourblind test. They gave me one of those books to look through with the different patterns in. And with my right eye, it was absolutely the way I would normally see it. I could see the contrast. With my left eye, everything was grey. So I didn't even realise that I'd lost the sort of colour in my eyes, or the ability to see colour at that point. But then, yeah, so by 2 weeks, it had completely resolved. There was a little bit of residual lack of ability to see contrast in colours, but that was it. Nothing, no more problems after that. It just resolved, and I was told it was optic neuritis. Somebody did mention at that point that it could be one of the first symptoms of MS, and I think I probably had been on Dr. Google and discovered that for myself, but nothing else was said about it. That was it. It was away you go. But then fast forward in 2 years, I then woke up another day and I found that my vision was really blurry. This was a completely different experience, though. So it wasn't with the pain and it wasn't with the black spot. It was just this kind of sense that I didn't even realize to begin with, but I guess I could see double with everything. So there were just two of everything. Everything had like a blurry second outline. Um, so I actually bumped into a friend on the way to the school on the school run, and she's an ophthalmologist, and told her what was going on, and she sent me straight to the eye hospital, where I was assessed there. And after a morning spent having my eyes looked at and doing all sorts of visual tests, I was told that I had what's called a sixth nerve palsy. So the way the eyes work, I didn't know this at the time, but they work in pairs. The nerves work in pairs rather. So the nerve on the sixth nerve on this eye, on my right eye, was basically stopping my eye from turning back out towards sort of this side of my face. So my pupil just turned in constantly towards my nose, and it was just the problem with the sixth nerve. So they knew straight away that what was causing it, but they didn't know what the cause of the sixth nerve palsy was. So then it was a case of having some tests to sort of reveal what was going on. So that wasn't instantaneous. She sort of sent me for an MRI quite quickly and said quite sort of there and then that obviously the three options I mentioned earlier on, which could be sort of brain tumor, myasthenia gravis, or MS, with probably the three likely causes, but they wouldn't know straight away. So I had a lot of tests done, and then I had the MRI done, and then the MRI came back with quite quickly actually with the results came back quite fast for that, with the lesions showing. So then I was a couple of months later I was given the official diagnosis of MS.
Was it? I think it's 2015. I think Christmas had just gone and we're just running into the new year. I realized I started to feel some pains in my eyes, but like on the top of your like eyelids. But I just always thought that when you're a bit stressed, it happens that way. So I didn't take any notice of it. But the pain became like quite bad in the evening. So I just went to sleep. And then in the morning, the pain went away from the left eye, but kind of was still there in the right eye. By then, I didn't realize that I actually was blind in my right eye. It was just like, I think I was just trying to, because I put eyeliner on. So I think I was just trying to like close one eye, but then the other eye was open, but it was still dark. So I thought, okay, something's not right here. So I tried it again. And then I realized that, okay, there's something wrong here. So now I have to go to the GP.